Hey, this is Tony with Timpl. Welcome to another coaching session. Calling it coaching because this is coming from my background. I was a headhunter, I was a recruiter, I worked in talent acquisition for 20 plus years. And the issue that every company has when you're hiring is how do you attract candidates? And it's just not that easy to say candidates because candidates come in lots of different shapes and sizes and forms. And what I want to talk about today is helping you categorize the two main types of candidates that there are, and then strategies within those two categories. And this is the most important point for you to understand and take away. No matter what you take away from this video today, you need to understand you've got active candidates and you have passive candidates. And if you don't figure out how to separate those in your mind and treat them completely different, you're really going to miss really the essence of what I'm trying to convey with you today. And that if you just put everybody in the same bucket, you're going to fail. It's just not going to work. Okay, let's talk about an active candidate. First of all, an active candidate is someone who, for whatever reason, they are very busy on the job boards, networking, trying to find a job. It's like the most important thing for them to do is to find a job. And that makes them active. And the active person is going to send lots of resumes. They're going to be all over Indeed or LinkedIn. Pretty much will do whatever you ask them to do within reason. So you could have a long, complicated interview process, a long, complicated application process. By and large, candidates, if they're interested in the company, will force themselves through painful processes. Now, if you talk about a passive candidate, they're probably fairly happy at work. It's just there's a few things that they think, this is probably not my long-term spot, and I'd like to find something new. I'm not in any rush. I'm just gonna take my time. I'm going to try to find the best company that fits what I'm looking for. And so that's kind of the mindset of both these people. And the person who's passive, they are not going to want to go through long, complicated processes. If it's like difficult for them to connect with you, they see that as a sign of, oh, these people are hard to work with. I don't have time for this. Now, so with that in the backdrop, I want to talk about 5 or 6 ideas that you can use right now to improve the way you can attract both active and passive candidates into your funnel. All right. And I'm going to do a separate video, a really deep dive on this first topic, which is optimizing your job descriptions. You create your job posting, you need to optimize it for the right keywords, depending on the type of person you're trying to reach. We have a tool that we use called Hrefs. It lets us analyze keywords, long tail keywords, Google traffic. We can see exactly what terms people are searching for. Second, you're probably not leveraging it the way it's meant to be. So you need to be putting all of your jobs in a unique format across all the different social media sites. Instagram requires something different from LinkedIn. LinkedIn requires something different from Facebook. Okay. And that's what you really have to focus on is you want to advertise on even YouTube and on your website. You probably are going to need to have 4, maybe 5 different formats for the same job. And that's going to help you to that candidate who's on that platform. Most important, you really have to use eye-catching visuals. And if you could even get creative and find a way to use a meme, it's incredible. Memes convey so much more information than you could ever possibly try to create yourself. So think about that. Here's one, and this is going to require, but you need to offer a referral bonus. Because all your current employees, they know people. And don't be cheap. A $100 bonus is not going to do it. Offer an attractive referral bonus, okay? If it's a really important role, jack the amount up. There's no reason you can't have different referral bonuses based on, the importance of the. So think about that. It's a nice incentive. Now these two something already, but it bears repeating. You have to attend job fairs and networking events. Probably the least HR and recruiting is going to a job fair, networking events. It could be kind of uncomfortable. You have to stand out in front of people, but you do need to send someone this table, get yourself a cloth that has your logo and your brand across it. And you do need to have some tchotchke stuff on your desk. You do need to have stuff that you give away to people, fun stuff. That's just, people will grab a bag and they'll go around and they try to collect stuff. And it just is, I don't know, kind of silly, but that's what I always see. People love to come by and grab stuff off your desk. Oh, you giving these away? Yes, we are. And then, well, tell us about yourself. Boom, there you go. Passive people don't like to deal with long, complicated application processes. You really do need to find a way to streamline your application process, even for the active people, because eventually they'll get frustrated. They'll put them through uncomfortable, long processes, but eventually, if you're like the fourth or fifth company that day that's asking for something from them, they may just be done with it and together. So not only do you need like mobile friendly, but you need to be thinking speed. Like how quickly can they just give their resume to you? What I mean is, if you're requiring someone to upload a resume and then really input parts of their history, where they went to school, and so on and so forth, and then you just run them through page after page after page of filling up data on your applicant tracking system, you're just going to lose those people. I mean, my advice is let them just upload a resume, have to have an internal parser. Let it parse the resume over. Let that be enough. Let that be enough. And now legal may push back and say, yeah, we need them to click a couple of these different categories of who they are. Well, maybe one page of like who they are, how they identify, and that kind of stuff. But beyond that, wait until they get into the actual interview process. Then you can push them all the other information to fill out. And finally, let's not forget, work with a staffing company. Work with a staffing company like Timpl. I mean, we really do make it simple for you. So if you're struggling to do this on your own, I mean, reach out to a company that does this for a living. Okay, now, passive candidates. This is where employer brand is going to help you stand out among other companies in your city or in your town that you're competing against. And inevitably, every town, every city has the main employer. There could be a couple, 2, 3 that everyone wants to work for. And they get lots of resumes. They don't have to do a lot of work. It all kind of comes to them. But if you're one of those small or mid-sizes and you've got one of those other kind of companies in town, that's how you're going to have to stand out. You have to start building an employer brand. Again, I could make literally constant videos how to create employer brand, but it starts with just having a separate page site, all right, that has things that you do, of causes, a mission, what you value, what you think your purpose is, and having pictures and videos of people engaged in doing this, having a case study, having of some feedback from other people who have experience and work with your company or with some of your people. It begins to kind of create this persona of this is what you stand for. And people want to work for those kind of companies that resonate with them. And that is really important with passive candidates because they have the time to sit back and determine what I even want to send a resume to them, to you. So keep that in mind. Now, once you do build that content and just start with a little something, then you need to start publishing that to your Facebook group, LinkedIn page, right? And again, across all the, so it's not just your job description that you're posting, but it's this other content that talks about what your culture is. And culture is by not having you do it directly, but by having other people engaged in some kind of an activity that recorded and they can talk through what they're doing. And it kind of speaks to you kind of indirectly, much more effective than just saying, this is what we believe. Well, instead of saying what you believe, why don't you show people who are actively doing it? That you are trying to attract. There might be a group of people that you're trying to attract. Let's say, I'll just throw out this for an example. You're an engineering firm. You're trying to attract engineers. You're an accountancy. You're trying to attract would-be CPAs. So maybe there's something kind of unique about what you're trying to find. You want to start creating personalized outreach, okay? So you might be on LinkedIn. You might see some of these people, and you want to start crafting very personalized messages to these passive candidates, highlighting different reasons why you think they should consider if they are considering a job change, your company. And a headhunter would do. A headhunter is going to be a little more direct. So you have to start, how can I directly communicate with people? So you might find people online, HR, recruiters, or just you individually. You could literally start sending messages to people who are in the function that you're trying to hire, right? So go ahead and just start messaging those people and trying to connect with them. Connect with you on LinkedIn. They'll see all your posts that you put out there. Very personalized. So if you're talk about some engineering projects you've worked on, some of the accolades, some of the great projects that you worked on. That your talent, and that's the next point I want to get into, is you have to create a talent pool. So within every company, you've got talent pool, right? You've got your accounting department, you've got marketing, you've got sales, operations, so on and so forth. So you need to start doing that for these different pools of. So you're kind of what you're doing is you're building a data up of these potential candidates, right? If you are connecting with these people on LinkedIn, and they will connect with you, possible. If you've got a CXO or a VP top of that function, and they're just kind of casually reaching out in the industry, believe it or not, that's kind of, oh, okay, yeah, I'm happy to expand my network and kind of connect with you. You automatically get their email address. You can add that email address. You can do, some emailing to these people to kind of build that talent pool and start communicating with them through newsletters and updates about the company. So be thinking about, where do I have people in my talent pools? If not, you can start adding them in. This takes a little, and start informational webinars. So you can organize a session where you can publish it through all your socials and all the people and kind of collecting, and invite them to a virtual webinar so they can learn about you without actually having to go through actually an interview. They can just kind of at afar watch and listen and learn, and they get a feel for who you are. And the final thing you can do, again, you could choose to work with a staffing company that has direct hire recruiters that have experiencing the hard to find and reach and recruit people. We call that executive recruiting, headhunting. If you choose to work with a staffing company, or just what you might call a search agency, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for those people who know how to deal with and hard to reach people, okay, at Timpl and the different branches that we have across the country. So that's it. Kind of a high view of some of the different techniques and strategies that you should be using to attract both passive and active candidates. And if you have any more questions about any of this, feel free to reach out to me directly. You should be able to find my contact somewhere down in this video. See you next time.